Hello students, welcome to Biology Bites. Let's simplify biology. Myself Sadhna Bajpayee, and today we will study about the coordination in plants and hormones in animals. So let us begin with this. So animals and plants, they are the two living organisms on earth. Plant and animal, how they are differ. Plant, they will show only movement. They cannot show locomotion. Locomotion means changing the place. Animal can do that because animals they are having some special organ which help them to locomote or to leave one place and they can move it to other place when there are unfavorable condition or for searching of the food. But what about animals? They will show only movement, and that movement they are of two types: trophic movement, and the second one is trophic movement or trophic movement, and the second one is nastic movement. Nastic movement and trophic movement, they are different from each other only for few points. So the movement depend on growth. The movement which depend on growth. The movement depend on growth is called trophic movement. And the movement which is independent of the growth, the movement which is independent independent of growth is called nastic movement. Now, let us discuss this in little bit broadly. The trophic movement means the various parts of a plant, how they will respond according to the outer stimulus or the changes in the environment. According to according to the various type of stimulus, the things or the types of movements are phototropic, chemotropic, geotropic. Now I will tell you these one by one. Phototropism. Photo means light. As we know, photo means light, and tropism means movement, directional movement. So when a plant is showing response toward the light, plant or especially the shoot system, will show response toward the light or response towards the light, or the stem always move towards the source of light. Light is also known as what? Photo. That's why it is known as phototropism. The leaves and the stem which are present on the plant, you can see the light rays are coming in this direction, so the stem will start moving towards it. This is known as phototropism. Okay, you can see the plant, this part, this is the shoot system, it is moving or growing towards the light. It is not going down. It can grow downwards also, but it is not going downward because light source is in the upside. Okay, so it is a directional movement. Wherever the sun rays are coming in which direction? In that direction only the stem will move. Even the sunflower. Sunflower is also one of the best example of phototropism. I think all of you have seen the sunflower. Sunflower, it is also showing phototropism. It will start moving towards the light. Wherever the light is present, that direction it will start moving, है ना. सूरजमुखी का फूल अपना फूल उसका डायरेक्शन चेंज होता रहता है पूरे दिन में, because it is wherever the sun is there, it is moving toward its. It is called phototropism. Now let us talk about the hydrotropism. Hydrotropism, that response is shown by only the root. The root will grow towards the water source. Towards the water source. As we know, the plant will show only movement. So roots grow towards the water resources. And this is called hydrotropism. And they are always positive, or wherever the water is there, it will start moving towards. You can see in this figure also. In this figure, the root, they should grow straight. But instead of that, they are moving towards where the water is available. You can see this is the water resource. So they bend towards the water. Now, let us talk about the next type of tropism, that is chemotropism. Chemotropism means chemicals. Whenever particular chemical, chemo means chemical. Chemo means chemical. Pollen grain will start producing pollen tube whenever it will get it is always in a touch with a chemical, or the chemical which is present on the stigma. So pollen tube growth from the pollen tube, from the pollen, is one of the response of the chemotropism. Clear? Now, thigmotropism. As you have seen, the climbers, they are having the weak stem. So how they can reach to a very they can climb with the help of some climbers. So climbers, whenever, or the plant, when it is in contact with any solid surface, then it will start coiling around it, and the plant moving towards the lights for the sunlight. Thigmo means touch. Touch tropism means wherever it will touch to any surface, it will start forming the climbers. You can see. So with the help of these climbers, the plant reaches to the maximum height. So plant to contact or touch with any supporter is called thigmotropism. Like tendrils, they are what? They are known as tendrils. These tendrils will coil around the surface. These tendrils will coil around the surface and help the plant to grow. Okay, now let us discuss about geotropism. Geotropism, this response is shown by the root. Roots are always growing towards the gravity. Root grows towards the gravity. Towards the gravity. I think you know what is gravity. It is the force which is exerted by the earth on every organism, every substance on earth. So plant roots always grow towards the gravity, and the stem is always grow away from the gravity. So in this figure you can see negative geotropism and positive geotropism. So root grows towards towards the gravity. That is a positive response. So roots are showing geotropism. Okay, now let us move to the next slide, in which we will discuss about different types of phytohormones. Phytohormones, the hormones which are released by the plant, and these hormones do lot of changes inside the plant body. So they are also known as phytohormones. Phyta term means plant, and hormones are the some chemicals. They are released inside the plant body in very minute quantity, but they are having lot many changes in the plant. Most of them, they are acting as a growth regulator. They will regulate the growth of a plant. Okay, so they are growth, most of the hormones, they are promoting the growth, and few are which are inhibiting मतलब रोकना, बंद करना. Okay, we will discuss about all these hormones one by one. So what are the various hormones? Auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin. These all are, three are growth promoting hormone. Ethylene or ethene and abscisic acid. These are growth inhibiting hormone. Okay, now let us discuss about auxin. Auxin, it is one of the hormone which stimulate or help in enlargement of the cell. The first important function is help in cell enlargement. The cell will increase in size because of the auxin, and even the cell division is also controlled or initiated by these hormones, that is auxin. For the root formation, also. When the scientists, they are doing the tissue culture, in that they are using auxin for introducing the roots inside the tissues, which they are growing inside the lab. Okay, and auxins sometimes they are used as a herbicides also. Okay, and it is also showing the tropic movement. For various tropic movement also, auxins are responsible. Auxins, it will be present in the shoot tip and help in growing the stem towards the light. Okay, now the second is gibberellin. So gibberellin, it is also one of the hormone which is called the growth regulator. So gibberellin help in cell growth. Again, it help in cell growth of a stem and leaf. Cell growth of stem and leaves. What is the second purpose? Gibberellin, it will break the dormancy. What do you mean by dormancy? Dormancy means seed थोड़ी देर के लिए सो जाता है, growth नहीं करता है, germination नहीं करता है. That is dormancy. It is necessary that seed go for a dormancy. नहीं तो किसी भी सीजन में वो ग्रो कर जाएगा. कुछ सर्टेन टाइम के लिए उसको इनएक्टिव होना पड़ता है, और वो एक्टिव कब होगा? When the gibberellin will start producing inside the seed. Clear? So from the seed, the tubes will, the buds will arise because of the gibberellin. Okay. Then for the fruit development also, gibberellin is nowadays, so people are giving artificially for developing the fruit, which is not good for us also. So these are the various function, and it will also one of the special property that gibberellin induces the internodal growth. It will induces internodal growth. Internodal growth. I think you know what is internode. Internode means the distance between two leaf, that is internode. And this internode, this region, its space can be increased with the introduction of gibberellin. Okay, now let us move to the next phytohormone, that is cytokinin. Cyto means cell, kinin means division. The name itself is self-explanatory. So it help in cell division. It help in cell division. Cell division is very important for any type of growth. Then cytokinin sometimes delay the senescence also. Senescence means that the you can say age बुढ़ापे को कम करता है. So it will stop the senescence, or you can say delay the senescence. बुढ़ापा नहीं आने देता plant में. Clear? Senescence means damaging of the cells of a plant. Clear? Then it will introduce the apical dominance. Apical dominance means plant आराम से सीधा सीधा ग्रो करता है because of oxygen and of course cytokinin. Okay, now cytokinins, it is generally sprayed in the green vegetable so that they will be fresh. Okay, now let us talk about ethylene. Ethylene, it is the only hormone which is a gaseous hormone. Ethylene, it is a gaseous hormone. It is the speciality. All the hormones, they are the chemicals which are present inside the plant body. But ethylene is the hormone which is gaseous in nature. And what is its function? It promotes the ripening of the fruit. Means आपके फल को पकने में काम आता है. Promote the fruit ripening. और लोग क्या करते हैं आजकल उसको available, it is available in the market. तो उसको जो है मार्केट्स में डाल करके उससे क्या करते हैं, सारे फलों को जो है पकाने के लिए, जो कच्चे भी फल हैं उनको पकाने के लिए भी ये gaseous hormones spray it. So it is promoting the fruit ripening. The another function is ethylene help in root initiation. It help in root initiation. Initiation inside the seed. Root initiation in the seed. Clear? Then what is the other function? It's help in the excess flower and young fruits are thinning of the flowers and fruit. Thinning of flowers and fruits. These are the various important function of ethylene. It is a gaseous hormone. और इसी हार्मोन की वजह से क्या, if in a basket if you will keep the unripe fruit and only one ripe fruit, एक पका हुआ फल रख दोगे सारे फल पक जाएंगे. Why? Because this is a gaseous hormone. It will be spread, gas हमेशा spread होती है, and when it reaches to the other fruit will also get ripened. Now the last, your phytohormone is abscisic acid. Abscisic acid, it is a plant inhibitor hormone. It will inhibit, यानी रोकता है, अब growth को रोकता है. It will promote the shedding of, the leaf. Promote the shedding means plant में जो पत्तियां येलो हो गई हैं उन सबको, और फ्रूट पका हुआ फल क्यों नीचे गिर जाता है? Because of abscisic acid. Shedding of the flower and fruit. आपने देखा होगा फ्रूट में से, प्लांट में से पका हुआ फल और फूल आपके वो सब क्यों गिरते? Because of the abscisic acid. Then what is the other function? Abscisic acid, it is also known as ABA. Abscisic acid, it will reduce the rate of transpiration. Reduce the rate of transpiration. Transpiration, it is the process by which the extra water is used by the plant. Then the abscisic acid, it will promotes the rooting. It will promotes the rooting in the stem. Means अगर आप stem को रख लेते हो, जमीन में डालते हो, तो उस stem में से root कैसे निकलेंगी? With the help of this hormone. Okay, and it is actually for performing the function antagonistic, means opposite to the gibberellin and auxin. Antagonistic work is done by antagonistic to the or reverse effect of, it will show the antagonist effect of gibberellin and auxin. Gibberellins and auxins, which are also known as the plant growth or plant regulators. Clear? Now we will study about the hormones, various hormones present inside the animals. So inside the human being, the hormones, they are secreted by endocrine glands. What are glands? Glands are small bag-like structure present inside the human. But the exocrine gland, they will release only what they will release. Exocrine gland, they are having one duct. You can see this is known as duct. So how you will differentiate between exocrine and endocrine gland? The exocrine gland, they have duct, while the endocrine gland, they do not have any duct. This is one of the basic difference. They do not have duct, and that's why it is also known as ductless glands. So might be in examination, it is asked, write the ductless gland name instead of endocrine. The second basic difference is exocrine glands are generally release or secrete the digestive juices or some enzymes, while your endocrine gland, what they will secrete, what they will release in the body, they will secrete special chemicals which are known as hormones. The glands, few glands are there, like few glands, they will release hormones, as well as heterocrine glands, they will release or secrete hormones and some juices. Some juices are released by the glands. Those glands are known as heterocrine gland. The best example is pancreas, then ovary, pancreas, then ovary and testis. These are the three glands which are known as heterocrine gland. Okay, now we will move to the next slide, in which we will study about the various glands which are present in our body and its location also, where it is located. The first endocrine gland is hypothalamus, and this gland, it is also called the master of master gland. Hypothalamus gland, the first important feature of this is it is called the master of master gland. It is actually controlling all the activities of all the gland. Master of master gland. Clear? Our master gland is your, which one? Pituitary gland. We will study that also. Now, where it is located? It is located, it is inside your brain, as you can see in the figure. In the figure, you can see its location. Hypothalamus, it is located in your, just below your forebrain. Clear? Now, what is its function? This hypothalamus gland, it influences, as I told you, it is controlling the function of all the glands. It is also known as the supreme commander of your endocrine system. Clear? And it produces the hormones. They are called neurohormones. It produces neurohormone, and that are released to other parts, or basically it will gives all its messages to the next gland, which is called pituitary gland. Which is called pituitary gland. It is having the connection with that. Now, next is pineal gland, that you can see in the figure, its location. It is also inside the brain. And this gland, it is located just below the cerebral hemisphere. So pineal gland, as you can see, it is present. Where it is present? It is located between the cerebral hemisphere. So first of all, you should know what is the location of various glands in the body, as we are having the various organs inside our body, and its place is also fixed. Here also, each and every gland position is also fixed. So where it is located? Between the cerebral hemisphere. So as in my previous slides, we have discussed about the various parts of our brain, where I had told you that cerebrum is divided into two halves. They are called cerebral hemisphere. Clear? And it secretes the hormone that is melatonin. So melatonin, it is one of the important hormone which is released by the pineal gland. It is also commonly known as sleep hormone. It is commonly known as sleep hormone. Why it is known as sleep hormone? Because it promotes the sleep, or it makes the biological clock. It controls the, it will control biological clock. अब biological clock क्या होती है? Biological clock ये होती है आपका बॉडी एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम पे सोना पसंद करेगा, एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम पे आपको भूख लगेगी, एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम पे आपको आपका बॉडी फिक्स होगा कि इस टाइम पे उठ जाएगा, चाहे आपने कितना भी रात में लेट सोए हो. So that is called biological clock. That is regulated or controlled by pineal gland secretion, that is melatonin. Okay. Now the next gland is parathyroid. Parathyroid, it is one of the gland which is present inside your neck region. Neck region. This is very important. So let us talk about one of the other endocrine gland, that is parathyroid gland. Parathyroid gland, where it is located? It is located in your neck region. And this hormone, it is consisted of the lobes. It is present on the lobes of thyroid gland. Clear? And this parathyroid hormone, the hormone which it is released, it is known as parathyroid hormone. This hormone, it is having its function in the body. What it will do? This parathyroid hormone, it regulates the metabolism. Metabolism means इसको कैसा, कितना इसको simplified form में होना है, कितना store होना है body में, that all is regulates by the parathyroid gland. Regulates the metabolism of calcium and phosphate. If calcium deficiency is there in the body, then the teeth and the bone will become weak. And if too much of accumulation is there in the excessive is there, then it will also have a harmful effect on the body. Calcium is less, then there is some type of we can say some type of pain will be there in the muscles. Muscle cramp will be there. So amount of calcium is important for muscle and bones both. Now let us discuss the next hormone. The next hormone is that is thyroid. Okay. That is thymus gland. The thymus gland, This gland is located in the upper part of the thorax. It is present in the upper part of thorax. Thorax means where the thorax, where the we can say the windpipe is there. Okay, and or you can say it is upper part of the thorax near the heart. Near the heart. Upper part of the thorax near the heart, it is located there, and it is present since birth, but it will become smaller in size as the age, as the person will increase in its age, and it will get totally degenerated during the adulthood. And it is one of the important part of the immune system. Thymus gland, it is the part of immune system which help in fighting the infection. Help in fighting the infection for in our body. Clear? It is not of very much big size, as you can see in the figure. This is the thymus gland. Its presence is very important. And as you know that when any person ages will be 60 plus 65 बोलते हैं ना कि इनके अंदर लोगों से लड़ने की शक्ति कम होके पाए, because the thymus gland, it stores T lymphocyte cells, the special cells which is producing the immunity, induces the immunity. Now we will talk about pituitary gland. It is also known as the master gland. Master gland means it is controlling the activity of the all the hormones. So pituitary gland, it is also known as what? Master gland. Clear? So in 1 mark question generally asks, name the master gland of the endocrine system. Clear? Why it is called master gland? It is called master gland because its secretion control the hormonal secretion from other glands. So again, I'm telling you why it is called a master gland, because its secretions controls control the hormonal secretion from other glands. Okay, and it is the smallest gland of the body, smallest gland of the human body. And its location, it is in the ventral side of the brain, as you can see in the figure. So at the ventral side of the brain, this pituitary gland is located. Clear? The hormone which it releases, it is GH. GH means growth hormone. And these growth hormone regulates the height of a person. If this hormone released in less quantity, then the disease or the person height will be very short, and that is called dwarfism. And if too much of the secretion of growth hormone is there, then it will lead to gigantism. So these are the effects on the body. And many other hormones they are secreting, like FSH. FSH is follicle stimulating hormone. It will regulate the formation and production of the gametes, follicle stimulating hormone, or even the hormone released by the various glands, or especially the ovary and the testes. Okay. Now let us talk about pancreas. Pancreas you have studied where? You have studied in your digestive system. What is the speciality of pancreas? Pancreas, it is producing hormone as well as digestive juices. That's why it is called heterocrine gland. Okay, so it is generally asked why the pancreas is called heterocrine gland, because it is having the character of both exocrine and endocrine gland. Means in short that it will releases some digestive juices, means it will releases pancreatic juices and the hormone that is insulin. Clear? That's why it is known as heterocrine gland. Inside the pancreas, the cells which releases the insulin, which is a hormone which regulates the sugar level, regulates the blood sugar or blood glucose level. Whatever the glucose is there inside the blood, this insulin will take it to the or channelize to the liver. Clear? And if insulin is less, then the blood sugar level will increase. The special cells which are present inside the pancreas, which releases the insulin hormone, they are called islets of Langerhans. Islets of Langerhans, they are the special cells present inside the pancreas which releases, cells in pancreas releases hormone, that is insulin hormone. Clear? Now the digestive juices, as we know, cells in pancreas releases insulin, and one other is glucagon. Okay. Now the pancreatic juices also are released by, pancreatic juices means help in digestion or breaking down of few nutrients like your protein for protein digestion, trypsin. This is digestive juice released by the pancreas. Then pancreatic lipase, which will break down the lipid or the fat. Then pancreatic amylase, it will break down the starch present inside the food. Now let us talk about the thyroid gland. Thyroid gland, it is located in the neck region, and this hormone will also help in regulating the metabolism. And where it is located? It is located between, it is located between the larynx in the neck. Between the larynx. What do you mean by larynx? I think you know. Voice box. Larynx in the neck. Okay. Now, this gland, what it will secrete? It will secrete thyroxine. Thyroxine hormone is released by your thyroid gland. Clear? What is the function of thyroxine? Thyroxine actually contain iodine. Thyroxine contain iodine. And if iodine deficiency is there inside the diet, then a person's will have some problems. That is goiter. Clear? So, what is this function? The function of this hormone, function of thyroxine, it is regulating the metabolism of what? Carbohydrate, fats, and protein. Metabolism means how much your body should store the carbohydrate, fats, and protein. Metabolism of carbohydrate, fats, and protein. Clear? So you can see this is the thyroid gland. You can see. And this hormone, as you can see, it is having two lobes. It is bilobed. Clear? And if insufficient amount of iodine is there in the diet, then the person will show deficiency disease. Deficiency disease will be shown due to lack of iodine in the diet. Iodine in the diet, and that disease is goiter. And this disease is generally seen in the hilly areas. Clear? And if a female is having any fetus inside the body, then the mental growth will not be there due to iodine deficiency in the diet of, if it is there, iodine deficiency in a diet of pregnant woman, in a diet of pregnant woman, then the fetus mental growth will be very slow. Will lead to what? Slow body growth, and so show the slow body growth. Slow body growth and the mental development. And this type, the child which have all these problems from birth, this disease is called cretinism. Okay, now we will move to the remaining hormone. The next hormone is adrenal gland. The adrenal gland, the name itself says, renal means kidney, ad means above. So you can see this gland is present above the kidney. Adrenal gland. Okay, and this gland, it is also known as suprarenal gland. It is also known as suprarenal gland because it is present above the kidney. It is also known as gland of emergency. Gland of emergency. So it can be asked in all these way also. emergency. Clear? And how many adrenal glands are there in the human body? One pair. One pair means one pair of kidney we are having. So one pair of adrenal gland. Above each kidney, one adrenal gland is present. Clear? Now, which hormone it will release? It will release the hormone called epinephrine. The hormone which is released by this adrenal gland is epinephrine. Epinephrine, or it is also known as adrenaline. It is also known as adrenaline or adrenaline. This is the hormone which is also called emergency hormone. Adrenaline, it is also called what? It is called emergency hormone. Emergency means during emergency time it will be secreted. Otherwise, it will remain as it is inside the body. It is known as emergency hormone. Clear? Now, when it is released, it is released when there is some physical or emotional stresses there. And what will be its effect? If adrenaline is released in the body, then it will increase the blood pressure. First thing, increase the blood pressure. Then heartbeat. Heartbeat will be increased. Rate of respiration will also increase. जो भी emergency condition में ये सब तो होता है, अचानक से कोई एकदम से कोई मुसीबत आ जाए तो आपका बॉडी की क्या होता है, यही सब चीजें तो होती हैं. आपकी हार्ट बीट तेज हो जाती है, आपका रेट ऑफ रेस्पिरेशन, और जैसे चीजें सही होती हैं अपने आप all the things will become normal. And this gland is also called fight and flight gland. Okay, adrenal gland, it is also known as fight or flight hormone. Fight or flight hormone or fight and flight gland. Okay, now the testis, actually testis and ovary, both of them are called heterocrine gland, and these two glands, they are optional. Means testes will always present in male and ovaries are always present in female. Apart from that, all other glands, they are present in all the organisms. Now, testis is present in male. Okay, testis is known as the heterocrine gland. Why? Because it will release the hormone in male. The hormone is testosterone. The testosterone is the hormone, or it is also known as androgens. Androgen is the hormone which is released in male. Okay? And it will release male gamete, which is known as sperm. How many testes are present? A pair of testes is present in the male. It is not present in female. Clear? And this testosterone. It will start releasing after puberty only. It will not start secreting from birth. So secretion of testosterone. Secretion of testosterone starts on puberty age. On puberty age. If we will talk about the ovary, again, it is a heterocrine gland. Heterocrine gland means along with the hormone, it will releases gametes. It is present only in female. A pair is present. Okay, it is present inside the abdominal region. We will study in detail about the structure in the reproduction chapter. Clear? And the hormone, the female hormone released by the ovary, basically they are estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen that is released after puberty. Estrogen, and the another one is progesterone. These are the two hormones released by the female. Okay, and these will be released after puberty age. Okay, after puberty, these hormones will released, and the female gamete, which is released by the ovary, is called ovum or egg. So these are the various hormones and the glands present. You can see this is the testis. This is testis, and these are the ovary. Okay. So students, please like, subscribe and share the channel, and stay tuned for further updates. Thank you.